Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Are we live now?
Yes, we're live now. A lot has happened this morning, but I have to thank you, sir. Thank you so much. I'm so
Yeah.
grateful to have you on. So, if you're watching, for anyone who's watching the replay, my guest today is Dr. Amos Fenwa, and he is a special, special guest. All my guests are special, but him, being able to get him for 1 hour to actually share his knowledge with us is a big, big deal. So I'm going to do a formal introduction for him. But if you're watching, this is Married to Ministry on the SoulVibes platform. And the founder of the SoulVibes platform, Pastor Ben Chiola, he started this because he thought most of the content that's out there now is very toxic. And he wanted to introduce some positive content into the space. Married to Ministry is a brand that promotes healthy marriage God's way, and it resides on SoulVibes. So my guest today is Dr. Amos Fenwa. He is the General Overseer of HolyGhost Christian Center Worldwide, a church that has branches in Nigeria, all over Nigeria, in the UK, in the US, and in Canada. He's also a certified family coach with over 30 years of experience counseling, mentoring individuals, families, and organizations. He's been pastoring for longer than that time, and he has been married for almost close to 32 years. 30 years, over 30 years. He's the author of Singles Checklist and the Keys to Marital Success, among many other books on growth, family, marriage, and faith. He has been married to his beautiful wife, Mrs. Esther Fenwa, for over 3 decades, and they are blessed with children. His books are available on Amazon. Welcome, sir. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for coming. So grateful. So, sir, today is going to be quite spicy. That's my expectation. But I've been privileged for a long time. I've been privileged to watch you and hear you talk about family and marriage. So I will start off with asking you, how did you start? How did this start to become, you're a pastor of a huge church, but how did this become something that you're known for, family and marriage?
Well, I got married very early in life, and maybe at the age of 24. And as a pastor, young pastor, assistant pastor in a church, my denomination that time wouldn't want to reckon with pastor that's never married. If you're not married, they feel like you could be you can be prone to a temptation. And so my pastor that time, who was my mentor, wanted me to get married on time. And I also want to marry on time, because if you're a child of God, you want to build a family, you want to start with somebody. And when I got married, I didn't have all the knowledge, all the understanding, and I find it difficult to relate well with my wife. Sometimes we have a lot of quarrel, and I started praying, because apart from being a family life coach, I'm also a pastor, and I operate in prophetic ministry. So I started asking God many questions. Why am I not enjoying my marriage? Sometimes I'll go inside a church alone when I'm in my quiet time, and I'll be crying because I'm very emotional. And I will say, God, what is going on? And the Lord will speak to me that you need to be patient with your wife. You have not made mistake to marry her. You need to be patient with your wife. You need to know her. You need to learn about her. And because of my theological background, I started researching and reading books. I read so many books. I mean, I lost count, but I think I've read close to 35 books on marriage. Some are about women, some about men, some about relationship, some are about personality. I've read so many books. And this eventually became something that I was able to manage my marriage, and we started living well. Because you see, personality difference is one of the things that first happen when you are dating somebody, when you are looking for somebody to marry. You always look for someone that is a bit opposite your temperament. For example, by my temperament, I am a male son, melancholy stroke sanguine. This is my temperament. What does that mean? I love perfection, but I also relate where I can talk, I can gist. I usually make friends when I get to a place. But my wife is opposite of me. She's calm. She's a flake. It's a temperament called phlegmatic. But he also has a choleric. So it's a double major. Sometimes she may not want to talk to me. She just want to get an energy being alone. And I don't want to be alone. If I'm sick, one of the ways to make me get healed is to come and greet me and gist with me. The moment you start gisting with me, I'm healed. I get a bit bored when I'm alone for a long time. The only time I like to be alone is when I am praying, I'm studying. But when I'm not doing that, I just want to talk with people. I want to share with people. So I started learning. And now I got to a level that when I learned to a level, I started understanding so many things. So every time people come to see me for counseling as a pastor, I find myself talking about marriage more. I find myself speaking to women, and they just want me to talk more. Couples will come and see me for prophetic counseling. I will end up counseling them on relationship, and they want to come more. And I see this as a ministry that God has given to me. So I started going to a lot of training on it as a professional. I started doing some training and started doing more research. I joined an association in Africa where we have a vision of Christian counselors, and where we share things that goes on in the marital circle, and this has exposed me. I'm being a pastor and general overseer. I speak to minimum of 50 people per week, minimum per week, if not more than that.
That's individuals.
Individuals, sometimes individuals, sometimes couples per week with issues or what they go through. I counsel people. I remember a couple some years back. This is about 11, 12 years ago now. They are not my real member. They are just a partner to my ministry. God used me to support them spiritually, and they are one of the people that support me financially. I remember one time they were having an issue with their real estate business, and I prayed, and they got it sold. They gave me a lot of money, but this couple were actually going through issue with their marriage. They will travel on vacation from Africa, sometimes to Canada, sometimes to America, but they will end up going by different planes. They will change their ticket. Within 5 days in the hotel, they will fight, and they are quite older couple. As of the time I'm talking to you, they are about 20 years married. They have 4 children. In fact, their children were in university. Both of them are nice people. Oh my God, the man is a nice man. I've never seen a nice, kind-hearted man like that in my life. The wife is also kind-hearted. But for both of them to stay together, that was the problem. So when I saw that, one time they had a quarrel, and the wife told me that we're going to meet in court for divorce. I said, divorce? In Africa? So I started praying, and the Lord led me to their house. And I after prayer, I started counseling them. The only thing that I did was to share them their personality differences.
Wow.
I just shared. Your personality differences is this. You are fled, you are male, you are this. And by the time I started sharing, you know, wow, you just discovered that, oh, we are different and we are supposed to complement each other, not to compete with each other. Marriage is not for competition, it's for complementation. There is a weakness in me that is the strength of my wife. There's a strength in me that is the weakness of my wife. And that is what it's all about. For example, I'm a public person. I like staying in front talking. I have to help my wife to be able to come to the front and be able to talk and share with people. Now, when it's alone, she can share with people. In fact, she's one of the best person that connect with her friend. Whenever I bring anybody in, is the one that will be managing them. I mean, sometimes some of my pastor friends, I will call them and say, sometimes I don't call you if I don't have something to say or to do. They will say, Mommy talked to me yesterday. Your wife talked to me. I say, oh, this for managing people like this. But me, I can talk, I can share, but maybe to manage you every day and be calling you, I might not be able to do that. Unless I have an assignment and something to do with you. So everybody has their strengths and weaknesses. So maybe in the house, I don't like domestic work. When I was growing up, my mother forced us to know how to do everything in the house. We are very, very domesticated. We are 5 boys, 3 girls, and I'm the 5th boy. So you see, all my older brother, they can do anything. They can cook. I can cook too. I can cook any kind of soup because my mother forced us to do it. So I can make any kind of food, but I don't enjoy doing it. I forced myself to do it. When I was getting married, I told my wife, I have one problem. He said, what is the problem? I said, I don't like cooking. He said, I should forget that she's going to do everything. I know we're in Africa. And she does those things. In fact, when I want to do it, he said, go and sit down. She will do everything. Our love was growing because I love food. I'm a foodie. I love food a lot. And, that is all about how I got to become a counselor.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Gio. So for anyone who's watching, anyone who will watch, and if you're watching, please like this video and please feel free to ask any question in the comments. Let's start with you saying hello in the comments. Let's start by saying hello in the comments. So Gio, from that story that you shared about that couple, it sounds like just the lack of that knowledge that these personality differences are not a bad thing. This is just how we are. Let's manage it. That was what was causing all of this trouble.
Yes.
Okay.
Because I sense spirituality that there are forces that doesn't want them to stay together. But you see, as a believer, if you're a believer, you're born again, you're a child of God, that can be taken care of. But you see, if you don't take care of some of the things that you need knowledge parts, Jesus in Matthew 19 said, some Sadducees, they came to him and said, is it not lawful to put away your wife? Moses said we should give them the bill of divorcements. And he said, have you not read? When you are not reading, you are not leading. When you lack knowledge, you will not be able to move forward. Information transformed. So that little knowledge I shared with them to show that your wife is like this, is this because of temperament. Because I already know the wife, she has a choleric and she has a bit of plague. So I started sharing what are the character of both of them. My God, they just understand each other. And with prayer today, do you know this couple bought me a Jeep, brand new SUV, Nissan Jeep, to appreciate my counseling them, my making their marriage to work.
So Gio, I wanted to ask something, because some of us, when we're younger, we feel like, okay, whatever issues that we're having in 10 years will be better. In 5 years will be better. But then we see people who have been married for 40 years and they are going at it every day. There's a fight, there's a quarrel. They're still calling people to settle the issue.
Their matter, yeah.
Yeah, they're still calling people to settle the matter. And we know that in Africa, like you mentioned before, and among communities of Africans in the States, they have not really embraced the idea of calling in someone that is not a family member to hear things that they consider secrets. So how do you get past that, that barrier? Because maybe you're telling the wife, I need to sit with you and your husband. And the wife is like, my husband will never agree to that because it's not our culture. How were you able to get past?
Well, I'm a pastor to them. So, and I'm like more like a mentor to both of them. So it makes it easier. What I would recommend to every couple is that you must have an accountability authority over both of you. There will be somebody somewhere that you are accountable to. Now, in life, in every profession in life, you have a mentor, you have somebody that is like overseeing you. And then, so we need relate in marriage. In finance, you must have a mentor. I have somebody that I speak to when I'm taking financial decision. I have somebody I speak to when I'm taking any kind of decision. I remember some years back when my last daughter, who just graduated from master's program in America doing law, when she was about to go for law degree, I remember there is a man that is a vice president of Nigeria today. That is Oshibaju. Some of you heard about him. If you're an African person watching or in Nigeria. Now, we started relating because I invited him to speak in our church and we became friends. So we always see and talk. And I know he's a professor of law. So I consulted him. I said, my daughter wants to study law. What do you advise? And he just told me, let her go and do it in Britain because he's going to be very smart and sharp. 4 years, he's already a lawyer. And he just come to do law school. And if he goes to America, he will first do a degree. And after that degree, he will now go to the law degree, making 7 years journey. And I'm coming from Africa. I'm going to be taking my currency into dollars. So we are trying to look for the shortcut of that course. Now, I spoke to somebody. So if you don't speak to somebody, if you don't speak out, you're going to get help. I don't even recommend that you speak to your family because they will take side. They will be emotional. Now, because my mom will be emotional if it's the one settling quarrel between me and my wife. And my family, my wife's family will be emotional because they are blood related. But if the person you are dealing with is not blood related, he or she will be able to tell you the truth. Oh, you are wrong. Amos, you are wrong. Esther, you are wrong. And I will not feel anything because we are not related. We are not family. So it's important to have an accountability partner, someone you can open your life to. If you are sick in the hospital now, if you are sick and you get to see your GP or your doctor, you will open up what is wrong with you. You will tell him what is wrong with you. In fact, there are secrets that you will have to say so that they can help you. That's the same thing when it comes to marriage.
Gio, there are secrets that you will be sharing to your doctor that your spouse probably doesn't even know.
It's true.
That exists. So we have some questions that have already been scheduled.
Yeah.
Like candid questions. I'm not sure if we should jump into that first. Then we circle around. Just so that we can maximize time.
Yeah.
So we got a question and it says, my husband admires boss ladies. That's how she put it. My husband admires boss ladies, high-flying female CEOs or businesswomen flying all over and winning awards. But he doesn't encourage me to get my master's or grow my business. I have to fight and get other people involved just to get his support. Does this man love me? That was our question. Does this man love me?
So the husband wanted her to be a CEO?
No. He just loves CEOs. Like if he sees like a woman on TV, she's giving a speech, maybe FFK, maybe one of those women, Ibukwan Woshika, someone like that.
Yeah.
Speech, he'll be talking, he'll be saying, wow, look at this woman. I love women like this.
But he doesn't want the wife to become the
wife. Yes, but he doesn't want the wife to.
Let me say this. Let me say this to you. If a man is groomed in Africa, if an African group, it's very difficult to see African man allowing the wife to excel, go forward. Wow. Very difficult because of the cultural, the way our brain, our cultural upbringing.
Conditioning.
Conditioner. We have been conditioning as an African man to feel that it's our world, it's not the women's world. Oh, wow. And that is what affected our marriage. I love the Western world and I've matured to that level. But I read the history of America and other part of the world too. They didn't start like that. I'm sure America has not produced African a president that's a woman.
Not yet.
Not yet. So I feel like the whole world is male dominated somehow. And that is what happened. Every man will love to see a woman that is doing well. But a lot of time when you go to the background of that woman back home, he has to have an husband that is willing to allow the wife to be in front. There are no many men that does that. I have a woman in my church who is a top police officer. Is a top police officer. And there was a time she was given a posting, a particular position in police, and she's all over social media. She's all over everywhere. I mean, when you mention her name on social media, everybody knows her. She's a member of my church. She has been at my church for years, and so it's like the spiritual daughter to me. So one day I was asking her, I said, "Oh, girl, you are all over everywhere, and your husband is also a police officer like you. In fact, higher rank than you. And how is he feeling? That is not feeling." He said, "My husband is the one that will tell me, hey, wake up. You need to go and do a speech." He said, "My husband is the one that will quickly help me hire my clothes." He said, "Don't worry, I'll take care of the children. Go. I said, "What?" He said, "Yes." He said, "My husband is the one that will push me." Wow. He said, "My husband doesn't want to be in front. He pushes me. He pushed me to be in front. He encouraged me to do what I'm doing." I said, "Wow, you are very favored." Few African men will do that. There are no few some African man that does that. I want to say this to anybody watching. If your wife has a gift, if your wife can do something better than you, if you know your wife is probably you can push forward, please do that. Hear me, it's already bearing your last name or your surname. It's already bearing your last name. If my wife had a lot of money today, becomes very rich, it's still bearing my Fenwa as the last name. So it's my daughter. It's also my wife because it's bearing my name. So I want you to have that mentality. And I also want to say to women that you are ascending in the professional ladder and you are going higher. You also need to learn how to balance and change the mood. A lot of women, when they are boss at work, when they get home, they still want to be a boss at home. And it doesn't work with the male ego, male figure. So you need to switch the mood. You need to switch the mood. Now I'm back where I'm a wife. Now I'm back where I'm a mother. So a lot of women feel like I'm controlling men at work. I'm an alpha female. So you can use that on your husband. You can be treating your husband and say, stand up. I mean, it doesn't work. Men have their ego, and that's the way it is.
Thank you, Jill. So from what you shared, you believe that it's probably a conditioning issue.
Yes.
What if the couple is not African? They are, maybe different cultures or just from somewhere else. Is it possible that the man does not love her? Is that the reason?
No, he may love her, but he may not want the wife to be in front more than him. As a result of, I'm a man, I should lead. Mm-hmm. And what we know is that man is the head of the home. Women is the neck, is the one that is driving the head, but the man is the head of the home anywhere in the world. Whether we are Caucasians, whether we are African, whether we are Latino or Latina, men is the head of the home. So a lot of men will say, I'm the head. Why should you be seen? Why should you be head? But I think it's not about that. He doesn't love the woman. Actually, expression of love differs. And you do notice that there are a few women also that want to be in that front and and do all those things. There are few. A lot of women don't want to. Some of the women just want to be mother at home raising kids and do a job for purpose of making money. In fact, a lot of women will still want to do what older women do. If their husband agree and the husband has a lot of money, say, don't work, I'll pay you money, just take care of my.
I'll be a lady of leisure.
But I will not encourage that.
Okay.
Whether you are watching this from Africa or anywhere, have your own income, please. Make sure as a woman, you build your life, build your own income. Now, a lot of African wives have been a victim of abuse because he will control your economy, control your life. He will pay the piper, dictate the tune. That's an English adage. I will encourage you to have your own income. Have your own money. Don't be the wife of CEO. Be somebody making money. Be the CEO if it's possible. Don't be the wife of CEO. You can be the daughter of a rich man, but you are not rich.
Gio, I think this is the best time to segue into my question about funding fun. I really want to.
The audio is distorted.
Sir, can you hear me?
I can hear you well. The audio is distorted.
Let me see what's going on. Is it better now?
I hear you now, but it's still distorted.
Okay, let me see. Okay, I'll try. I was saying this is the best time to segue into my question about funding fun. So I heard you speaking somewhere, and you said usually, infidelity in marriage starts from financial infidelity.
Yeah.
That you can actually, or maybe I shouldn't frame it that way, that you can trace it. If you trace it, you will see that there was financial infidelity earlier.
Okay.
Earlier on. So tell us more about that. The concept of funding fun and how, and does it mean that
can they do something about the audio? I'm hearing you, but it's very muffled and very, very not clear. Maybe you get out of the audio and go in several times. Maybe it's better.
Let me try that.
Thank you. God bless you for this program.
Is it better now, sir?
Not really. I can hear you.
Okay.
But for the audience, they will be speaking.
I think, okay, so if you're watching, if the audience is, if the audio is not very good for you, please let us know in the comments. Just drop a comment and let us know if the audio is good for you or not. We got one comment saying audio is fine. So
you get a comment that audio is fine?
Yeah, we got one. So
let's continue.
So what do you think? Do you think all couples should have joint accounts?
Yes, I will talk about it.
Do you think all couples should have joint accounts? Do you also think that Hello, sir.
Yes, how are you?
Sorry about the glitch. Okay, so we're seeing audio is good. Audio is good. Audio is good. Audio is fine. Thank you very much. So if you're watching, my guest is Dr. Amos Fenwa. Please share the link with your friends. We had a glitch earlier on today. That's why we couldn't start at 9. But we're hoping to ask him as many questions as coming. So if you have any questions, send it, post it in the comments. So, so as I was saying, number one, do you think couples should have joint accounts?
Yeah.
And also, what happens in a situation where you have a spouse who is very risk averse? Like when you want to make like a business move, you want to do something that's like that will require you to move quick. They will always be the ones to say, let me think about it. Wait, let's wait 3 months. Why not try this instead? And so you find that you're losing opportunities. And so that makes a joint account like a discouragement for you.
Okay, let me say this. I believe that couples should have a joint account that everybody put their money in.
Okay.
So that I make money and my wife make money, we put it in that account. I also believe that out of that account, everybody should now have their own personal accounts, because it's not every decision, every financial decision, every kind of money I want to spend, I need to be asking from my wife or from your husband. But I believe that all the resources that is coming is a commonwealth of the nation of your family, because your family is a nation. And that is also a way to check excesses. Because let me tell you, before somebody starts having sexual infidelity, you must start with financial infidelity, because it costs. Every romance needs to be financed. Every romance needs to be financed. So
Please, somebody should type that in the comments. That sounds so.
I
That
have
sounds so
never. I'm yet to see. I'm yet to see anybody cheating that will not spend money. It's not very, very easy. No matter how small, it will involve spending money. It also depends. For example, women will cheat in their marriage if they lack care, emotional care, and financial care. But 60% of women, statistics show that 60% of women cheat in their marriage because of money, financial. Finance is more important to a lot of women than, when you look at what causes marital issue, trouble, finance is one of them. Finance is even bigger than any other thing. Because the truth is that there is a phase in your marriage where sexual trouble will not be a problem anymore. In the early part of the marriage, first 5 to 10 years, you'll be struggling to have sexual issue. I want more, so you are not giving me. But after some time, age will catch up with both of you. Responsibility will catch up with both of you. By the time a woman goes to labor room 2 or 3 times, our body will change. Our body will change. In fact, a lot of women, their sexual life started changing after they got first baby, second baby. A lot of men, as they are growing, responsibilities start coming. They have to think more about family, future. Sometimes they work more. And stress is the killer of a man having erection. Testosterone, that's an hormone that helps a man to have those things. So by the time you are stressed, so is that affecting you to think about that? But money issue is a continuous matter. Money issue. I've been married for 30, it's going to be 32 years by July. We still have to sometimes argue on money. I need more money. I need to buy this. Don't buy this. And that will continue forever. That will continue forever. So that is why couples need to really manage the way their money is managed. In my own family, if I want to be sure and play with you, my wife is willing to put all her money in an account. And she agreed that I should put all my money in an account. But it's very difficult for me. Why? Sometimes I want to support a family, support people that have issues, and we might need to discuss it every day. Oh, want to do this? What do you think? But there are things I want to do for myself. I can just wake up one day and say, I want to give church $5,000, $2,000. And if my wife doesn't receive the same day I receive, what happens? I have to convince her to receive it.
Yeah.
And if she doesn't receive her, it's not going to come from her heart. And if it
Yeah.
doesn't come from her heart, that gift may not be acceptable before God. So I feel couples should have a joint account, but they should also have individual accounts.
Okay.
It's a way to control so many things. If I control money that comes to your hand, I will control your life. I can control everything.
Yeah. So I want us to talk about this issue of infidelity. We have a question on that issue.
Yeah.
What happens when you have a spouse who has cheated, but then whenever he cheats, he involves the family? Like he does it, you find out, she finds out, she sees like text messages, something tells, like reveals it, and he confesses. But with his confession, he goes to bring family members and says, I'm so sorry, please forgive me. And the family today like, forgive him. This has been a problem for long. Just let it go. After all, he takes care of other things, is a good dad. He does everything at home. Everything a wife would want, he does. It's just this part. So Gio, please talk to us about the disadvantage of this infidelity issue. Because for some people, like there are more women today saying, if a man cheats on me, as long as he's taking care of me, I don't mind. Please tell us from your experience, what would be the disadvantage? What do they have to be careful?
Okay. I would say this, that the first thing about when a man is cheating or the woman is cheating, because now women also are cheating. It's just that women are difficult to discover. Women are more careful. A woman knows how to do things and can cover it up very well. Because you see, the brain of a man functions differently from a woman. A man does one thing at a time. When a man is watching football, he might not be able to listen to your conversation. When a man is eating, he might not be able to listen to your conversation. So you say, I'm eating, let me finish my food. So it's women that can multitask because of the way the two hemispheres of their brain open at the same time. So if a woman is cheating, you may not even know because they are very good at covering those things. But men, we are so careless, something will just happen, you will know. So, but if it's a serial cheater, maybe he does it once and it happened like that. There are so many factors that lead to cheating.
So many factors.
So people have that lifestyle before they even got married. They are used to doing this before they got married. Some are not born again from age 10, who have been in the Lord from the beginning. I mean, when I discuss it, even among the pastors, some people will tell me, but you are favored to be raised by a pastor, because I was born in mission house, I was a pastor's kid. But some people are not, they don't even know their father. Their father, they don't even have anybody that cares for them. They live any reckless life. And they are already in that life before God helped them. They got married, and those ugly demons will be showing up. So people get into that. But if it's something somebody does once, and after you have done it once, it's stop, it's fine. Because, and if you do that and you know you will stop, you have to be very accountable. You have to be very open to your wife. There's an adage in Africa that said, when you are frying a groundnut for a blind, you have to be whistling. You'll be whistling because you are frying a groundnut. For a blind that cannot see you to know that you are not eating it, you have to be whistling.
Oh.
Because if the groundnut is in your mouth, you can't whistle.
You can't whistle. So you have to do things to prove that you are not cheating.
Yes, you have to continually prove. The moment the trust is broken,
that's a wisdom right there.
Yeah, the moment the trust is broken, you have to continually tell your spouse where you are, what you are doing. At that time, you can't password your phone anymore. If you have been passwording your phone based on the excuse that is a business thing, your phone must be open, your life must be open.
Your itinerary.
In fact, you have to be living like every minute. Both of you have to be on video. If you're inside the car, you're on video. Because you have already broken the trust.
Wow.
So you need to rebuild that trust by being open about everything you are doing. If you are sleeping, let it be. If you are eating, you are in a restaurant, anywhere you are, let this person know that I'm not doing that anymore. Look at me. And when you can do that for 1, 2, 3 years, the man will know that you are no longer who you are. You don't have a blind time that the woman cannot locate you. Your phone is not switched off and it's calling and you are saying it's network. I mean, so you can ask, okay, but if it's a serial cheater, my dear, that marriage is in danger. Because I've seen a situation where a man went and picked HIV and injected to the wife in Africa. And both of them died because they did not go and do medical. I know HIV is not a big deal anymore. There is a cure. There is a and they will live a normal life. But when the woman did not even know she had HIV,
how would she
care? So there's a danger in cheating. I know some men can be very careless. You want to go and sleep with somebody with no protection. Some will say, I want you to run. You are a wicked person.
So, but the issue of so right now I'm looking at the idea of, there's also I'm seeing more and more couples, and if you're watching and you understand what I'm saying, please drop it in the comments. If you're gaining much from what we're talking about, please let us know in the comments as well. It's getting more popular right now that people believe that men are made to be polygamous. In fact, people say it always. And the more people say it, the more it's becoming people are believing it. They'll say, oh, men are created to be polygamous. So you are seeing, thank you so much, sir. So you are seeing women telling their husbands, okay, 1 month in a year, you can go and sleep with whoever you like. In fact, recently there was a celebrity that they had a show, he and his wife, and they were on an interview on a show, and the wife said once a month, I believe, she allows him go and have a side chick. He goes and sleeps with his side chick once a month. And they were like, yeah, it took a while before they were able to come to that conclusion. And now that's what works for them. And of course, some people would say, oh, yeah, that's what works for them. Let them do what works for them. But the media is so powerful that young people will watch that and be like, okay, maybe this is the same thing that we should do. So that's kind of the worry, because we are also seeing Christians who say men are created to be polygamous. So please tell us what you think, Gio.
Well, I believe that what we are sharing is for both the people in the world and for the believer. But if you look at it from a believer point of view, God never created Eve and Evelyn. He created Adam and Eve.
1 for 1.
1 for 1. So which means we are not created polygamy. If God wanted us to have 10 wives, I think we would have done that. Polygamy came as a result of men's effort. Men wanted to please the flesh. So that is why it came. Men were never made a polygamy. Of course, if you grew up in a polygamous house, where you grew up is what you do. For example, if I don't eat swallow for a week, I feel like something is wrong, because I was raised in a home where my dad and my mom eat swallow as a food. If I was raised where they will eat pasta, we eat only spaghetti, and we eat, that is what I'm going to be eating. That's what I'm going to be eating. Because that's where I was created. I was raised. So, you see, if you are raised in a polygamous house, you'll believe that men are. But what I will say to you is this. God designed men differently from women. Men are sexually aggressive. One of the reasons why people cheat is for sex, nothing more. Sex is the major reason why men cheat. Women may not cheat for sex, they may cheat for love, they may cheat for money. They may cheat because they lack affection. But if they are lacking affection and somebody is going to give you affection will lead to something. If you are looking for friendship from an opposite sex, a man does not go deeper if there is no sex involved. But for men, the first thing a natural man is thinking when they see a fine girl, the first thing is thinking, oh my God. The first thing is thinking is, how am I going to sleep with her? That is the first thing that comes to the mind of a man. And it has to do with the nature of a man because of these hormones that is running the system of a man that make a man to achieve erection every day. A man can sleep with a woman every day of life because average man that is healthy, that is younger, wake up nearly every day with an erection. And when you have erection, you will want to have direction. So that is why people conclude. But I can tell you that you have erection does not mean you should be disciplined. Because you are hungry for food does not mean you should be crying if you are mature. A 2-year-old can be crying, Mommy, I want to eat. So you know that the 2-year-old is not mature. He or she cannot handle hunger. So you cry for food. But if a 10, 15, 20-year-old is crying for food, it's not mature. You should be able to manage it. So when I'm feeling hungry and I'm walking and I don't have time to go to eat, I shouldn't be crying. I shouldn't just get out of the walk and be looking for food because I'm hungry. So if I have a sexual drive and I'm mature, I should be able to enjoy it. I should know that my wife is not wired to look for sex every day. I should know that my wife has 4 seasons in a month. There's a autumn, there's a winter, there is a summer,
there's spring.
There's spring. Women have 4 seasons. Yes, and hormones that work in the first week of the month, second week of the month. There's hormones that make a woman to feel like I don't want to talk to anybody today. I just want to be on my own. I'm just feeling like somehow. Is an hormone. So you need to know. You need to know that my wife is not me. So our maturity should come to me. So sometimes I feel like having it and my wife is not ready. I should be mature to hold myself like a baby like a child of 2 years that is crying, Mommy, food. I cannot be crying at 20 or 30 for food. I'm hungry, but I can endure it. So no man is wired or designed by God to be polygamous. No man. We are only designed by God for Eve. No Evelyn is created.
No. Oh, wow. Thank you, sir, for saying that. So you guys have heard it here. It is sorted. If anyone else brings it up in the conversation, we know what to say. We know where to direct them to. So Jill, we have another candid question. And it reads, it talks about parental consent. Yeah. And it said, is parental consent a deal breaker in choosing a partner? And in what situation? So I think this is actually the question. In what situation is it okay to override your parents' refusal to agree to a particular person as your spouse?
Okay. I have that situation that I'm confronting right now in my ministry. I know a family that the parent didn't want her to marry a particular man, and the parent they based their understanding on God spoke to them, and they also heard from people the lifestyle of this guy, and they don't want their daughter to end up with the guy. Well, the first thing I'm going to say is this. If you are a parent watching this program, the truth is that you need to allow your children to make their decision. Your job as a parent is supervisory. It's not control. It's not instruction. It's supervisory. You just supervise. Advisory, not supervisory. Advisory. You are advising. I can only advise my children what to do. I can't force them to do it. And when it comes to marriage, they are going to live with that person, not you. You are going to live with the person. But children, if you are an African children, you also need to carry your parents along when you are taking decisions. Now, if you take you back to the Bible, it was Abraham that gave instruction to Eliezer, the chief of staff of his house. Eliezer is the chief of staff of the house. It is senior steward that manages Abraham's property and everything. When Abraham was about to die, he gave an instruction, and there is an oath that you will support my son Isaac to marry right. Are you with me? So in the Bible times, they allow older people to supervise their relationship. Now, can I be honest with you? Every young person needs supervision when it comes to taking a decision about marriage. Because you have never been that journey. And it's not, a lot of young people make decision on marriage based on look. The guy is very handsome, he's his frank. Oh, this lady, my God, she has a dimple on her cheeks. Show me your dimple. She has a dimple on her cheeks. She's so beautiful. Oh my God, she's figure eight. She has a long hair. When she smiles, she's so pretty. Her voice is very, very romantic. Oh my God. Listen to me, all those things does not make marriage work. They are just 10% or 5%. 10% is not a pass mark. It's not a pass mark. So those things are not very major important in marriage. You need to look beyond. What is my parents saying? Why is my parents saying I should not marry the person I want to marry? What is their value? What is it? Maybe they have not seen value and they are guiding me. So if you find out that, number one, your parent is not believers, your parents are biased. Now, if your parents see that you must marry from the hometown, you must marry from your culture, you must. So if these are reasons, well, you have to respect them to a level, and at the time you give them time. And if they insist, then I will advise you to talk to community that your parent belongs to. Talk to friends that your parent belongs to. They will see reason because they are not emotional like your parent. Your parent is emotional about you because you are blood connected. By the time you take all those options and it's not working, then you can now go ahead and do what you want to do. But I still wanted to take many options. I'm privileged to have 3 biological children. My son got married last year, everybody knows. And that's not the first girl he dated. He dated the first. He dated, maybe he became a friend with another person. And we have a culture in our family. We have a culture. Every family has their culture. The culture is that you pray about it first and hear God. And you have an accountability leader who also pray to hear God with you. In fact, I would never encourage them to first talk to me. Most of the time, they go and talk to your pastor. My pastor here is the pastor of my children. The daughter, the wife is their mentor. She mentor all of them, talk to all of them. In fact, they will cook many things before they bring it to us. we just put salt and seasoning on it. So I encourage them to have somebody that talk to them who is not their father, their parent, who can be emotionally biased.
Yes, biased.
So that is what I will encourage. But don't say that your parents are not important. Don't say, what are they saying? They are saying something. I am 32 years married. I am 36 years in ministry, counseling people. I have been a family counselor that I really went to training for it, maybe about 20 years, 15 years, maybe 15 years I've been doing this. I've seen so many couples. I've seen marriages scatter. I've seen where I support a lady to go and back out of her marriage. I encourage her because the husband was beating her every day. with 4 children, and the husband said, I don't love you. I only marry you because of your older brother that are in the government. I thought they're going to give me contracts. And he's beating her, he's telling the story. I am telling you the truth. Wow. And I said, my dear, you are my church member. I have forgotten how they bury people. I've forgotten all the creed they read at the burial ground. I'm not ready to read that creed on you. You need to get out of this marriage. I've seen a lot. I've seen where the parents say don't marry, and the lady said both of them married, and the marriage didn't work. And what the parents said exactly came to pass. So I want to encourage you, don't feel like my parents are saying, oh, you always need these parents. You always need parents. You know, parental work does not end until we die. When we stop being a parent, we become grandparents. When we stop being a grandparent, we become great-grandparents.
There's always parenting involved.
Parenting is involved all over the world, all throughout our life. And so we have a responsibility over our children to parent them, to guide them. And I want to talk to all the young people. Being tall, talking well, having dimple, having good back, having good front is not the way to marry that works. It's not all tall men that are responsible. So who are tall and they have 6-pack, but they don't have brain, they don't have vision. So that is not the definition of a good marriage. I'm not saying you should not marry a beautiful girl. My wife is very beautiful. Are you with me? So I'm not saying you should not marry a handsome man. But that is not the major thing. That is not the major thing. It's not major, it's minor. You know, there are courses in school that will tell you if you fail this one, you'll fail the course. Because it's major. So there are things that are minor, there are optional, they are not very important. So don't major or minor or major. I don't know whether there's English word like that. I know you study English.
Yes, I did study English. So you talked about vision, and there's a question that's leaning towards that angle. So this question is from a man, and he said, you know, you always talk about men of vision leading their family. Yeah. But most men, like most men, and they're not good at like really saying what they are thinking. They just want to do. They are more like, let me just do it. But you keep saying you have to share that vision with your family. So yeah. How does he communicate a vision to his family? And from other people that I've heard talk about this, they would say, oh, if I tell my wife, she might be second guessing me. She might just bring in some angle that I don't want to hear about. I just want to do my thing while she supports me. But from what you talk about, you always talk about the fact that if the woman does not understand your vision, she cannot support you. Is a woman expected to just blindly support something?
No. For me, I think if you see yourself as a team, husband and wife team, you will not be thinking like I can do it without her. You can't force a woman to support your vision. You need to share your vision. You need to paint it very well. Women are very easy. You just need a mouth and a tongue and a word and a lyrics to paint it for them. Do you know a man that knows how to talk can marry any kind of woman easily?
True. Very true.
Because it's about talking. It's about sharing the vision. And women are moved by what they hear. So if you tell her the benefit in the vision, why not? Of course, a lot of time when you want to take a risky decision, women will say, sorry, I'm not ready. But if you can take the fear out and show her the benefit, she will go along with you. She will go along with you. I know a case of a woman, this couple live in Dublin, Republic of Ireland. There was a time I was always in the island for I was mentoring about 3 churches there. I have some of my spiritual son there, and I was mentoring them. I always been Ireland. Sometimes I go to Ireland like 3-4 times a month. So I met this couple, and the man was interested in politics in Africa, in Nigeria especially. And the wife said, "No, I'm not interested in politics. I'm not supporting politics. I don't believe in it." But the man said, "Well, I want you to follow me. Believe me." The lady said no. So the man went ahead. He contested, and he became one of big officer. And the wife now said, "I want to become the first lady. I will be the first lady. Nobody can take my position. Nobody might take." I said, "Well, you didn't support this thing now." She wanted the glamour of the first lady. I'm sure you are watching and you are not from Africa. You may not understand what first lady means. It means number one lady in that organization. They have a vote. They have a budget. They have a lot of things. But there's a budget for their dresses. There's a budget for their look. So the woman. So a lot of time, if your husband is sharing a vision with you, and you don't understand the vision, and it meant to go ahead, just support. Just do what you can do. It doesn't mean that it may not fail. It may fail, but you keep quiet.
It may fail, but we should not say, "I told you so."
Yeah, you should not say that. Let me tell you something that happened. I remember when we were renovating a house we left now. We bought that house and we're renovating it. So I went to where they sell bedroom wear, and I told my wife I want to just to use this. My wife said, no, let's use this one. I told her, no, I must use this one. We started arguing. So she allowed me. And she said, "Okay, if that's what you want, no problem. But I know that what you are using is not good. It's not going to work." So it was a particular tie that I wanted us to put it in our bedroom. And it's a white tie. And my wife was thinking of dirtiness, was thinking of so. And do you know that within 1 year, that tie, we have to break it, and we now use the one she wanted us to use. But she did not call me and say, "But I told you." It's me that went and said, "But you said this thing." No, I didn't listen. That is the way forward. But always look for a way to convince your wife or your vision. If she wants to frustrate that vision, it's possible.
But Gio, this if you're watching, please, if you have any questions, we'll start to round up. So if you have any questions, please drop it in the chat. If you feel like you've gained from our conversation, please drop it in the chat as well. Gio, it's hard to see someone that you love making a mistake and you don't, and you just like, "Okay, I don't think this is correct, but if you want to go ahead, go ahead." It's hard.
But you have to learn sometimes. It's like raising a child. If you don't want your child, if your child starts walking, taking steps, and you don't want her to fall, she will never learn how to walk. Sometimes you need to allow people to make mistakes. You say your own, you advise, and if you see I'm the husband, I know what I'm doing, allow him. Let him make the mistake. As long as the mistake is not going to destroy the family, as long as the mistake is not going to cause problems in the family, I mean, if it's a minimized mistake that will not cause a lot of risk, that will destroy and delete everybody, why not? If the person is not telling you that I want to fly an aircraft, even though I don't know how to fly it, and I want all of you to be inside it, that is why you say, "Hey, I'm not going." Are you with me? I know that's not something that will mass destruction. I mean, because a lot of time, men are very egoistic, and sometimes where they are going is where they are going, what they believe. So sometimes when they share with you and you say, no, dear, because of this, you say, no, this is what I'm going to do. When the argument is becoming so much, I will encourage you to align. Then you will learn. So I've learned now. I learned my own. So now I want to tell it, I say, "I want to think about this. I have this idea." And she will share her own. And I will say, "No, this is what I want. This is what is going to happen." I will agree and go ahead. Sometimes we need to learn. I remember, let me give you one before before we go, I know our time is fast spent.
Yes, sir,
I
okay.
remember somebody dashed me and my wife a golden wristwatch for so many years. I've shared this in church before. A golden wristwatch. So one particular day, I woke up on Saturday morning and I went to the wardrobe and I put on the golden wristwatch. I just wear a t-shirt like this. And my wife said, why do you use this kind of wristwatch today? Where are you going? I said, I just feel good to just put it on. And he said, but when you are going out, I said, this is my wristwatch, it's not your own. Guess what happened that day?
It got lost.
It didn't get lost. I went to a supermarket. An armed robber came to that supermarket in Africa. And the first thing the armed robber said, he said, bring that wristwatch. He removed it and put it in his pocket. Now do the go. Pop! So when I got, after I recovered, I said, my wife wanted it.
That's it.
So when I got to him, I said, you told me not to wear this wristwatch, but you didn't tell me something is coming. He said, even me, I don't know something is coming. But something was telling me that you are not supposed to wear this wristwatch today. Because you are not going for party, you are not going to church, you just want to be at home. So a lot of time, from my experience, women are very intuitive. Sometimes share with your wife, listen to her. Women have 6 senses. They have other senses that they can feel something. We all don't look like this, but women can. Sometimes women can see their back. I don't want to frighten you, but they see things that we don't see. They hear what we don't hear. That's how God made them. They are created differently to support our life. Marriage is very sweet. If you have an issue with your marriage, talk to somebody. You can be helped.
Thank you, Gio. So this is our final question, and it came in late. So the question is from someone whose husband is doing business. Her husband is involved in business, and she happens to have dated someone who is in a position to help her husband's business. So when her husband found out that that was somebody that she had dated in the past, he said, why don't you talk to this person to kind of help my business? After all, we're both going to benefit from the business. And for her, she's kind of surprised because she's like, you as a man, you should not want to put me in a position where I will go to an ex to kind of plead with the ex to help to fund our business. What if it becomes something else? Or what if you start to feel somehow about us in future? So she's asking, like, is this a smart move? And she also doesn't want her ex to kind of have, like, make fun of the fact that she didn't marry him, and then the person she ended up marrying is, needs help.
Well, it depends on the values and the way. But for me, from my ego point of view as a man, I don't think I would encourage my wife to go and talk to the ex for anything. But some men don't care, they don't mind, they don't worry. So if the man is secure enough, the woman will know the husband she has married. If he's secure enough, a woman cannot cheat with somebody they don't want to cheat. Women can control themselves more than men. Women are more smarter than men. That's why he makes the help things. If you really don't want to trade, she know where to cut it off. She know where to stop talking. She know where to move away. And if a woman wants to be fruitful to their husband, she would tell everything. Women are more truthful than men sometimes when it comes to this thing. Some they are open, they will tell you this is what is going on. It's only when the woman know that the husband is not straightforward and he will not understand, they keep quiet. Women can keep quiet a lot. But if they know that you love them and you are sincere, they will share everything. So I don't think it's a very good move to encourage a woman to be talking to her ex for you Because at the end of the day, after you have solved your problem, you might begin to think that, I hope it's only talking you say. Maybe you did more than talking. So it's not really encouraged. All things are passed away.
Thank you, Gio. So that was my son coming in to report the other one. Gio, you wrote a book recently, or you published the second edition of a book. It's titled "You Can Live Long."
Okay.
And I was, sir.
Want me to say something about the book?
Yes, I want you to say something about
the audio has changed again. I don't know why.
I want you to say something about the book, sir.
Okay. A book I wrote a book called You Can Live Long. And this book is about my experiences of how men and women die before their time. And it's important for us to understand that there are principles, there are wisdom that we can use to be able to manage our health, to manage our life. Now, I saw situation where a lot of women, a lot of men get involved in things that are risky, that kill them before their time. I see situation where a man will break the heart of girls, and those girls will curse them. I've seen situation where a man will impregnate a girl and say, go and find your way, and the girl will go and commit abortion. And sometimes some of them will lose their life or lose their womb, and they will place a curse on the man. And this curse will now start working after some years. A lot of men have done so many things that affect their life. Women also have done so many that affect their life. And that is why the book was titled You Can Live Long, which means there is an ability, there is a capacity, there is an authority, there's everything that can make you live long. And that is what it's about in that book. I will encourage you to have a copy of that book. You can get it on Amazon. Just Amos Fenwa's book on Amazon. You Can Live Long. You can get it all over. Just Google it. You'll see how you can get it. And if you want read copy or to buy a copy, you can contact the program and we're going to get the book across to you. You Can Live Long.
Thank you, Gio. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. So Gio has other books available on Amazon. Just put in Dr. Amos Fenwa, just put in that name and you will see all the books because he has a lot of books. I just mentioned that particular book because it is related to marriage in its own way. Like nobody gets married to have a short life. Like you don't want to lose your spouse. You don't want to lose the person that you love and your family. And so long life, God wants us to enjoy our marriage. And without long life, that's not going to happen. Also, when children are involved, you want you don't want to be telling your children, oh, your dad was like this. You want them to experience that thing, or your mom was like that. You want them to experience that parent. And so please, that's a book that we should all get. And myself, Gio, myself 2 years ago, I promised myself that I will not matchmake anybody again because that was my favorite habit. I love putting people together and they would get married. But I've only had like 40% success so far that the marriage is still standing. So I've promised myself, really, you're not a matchmaker. So just leave it for professional matchmakers. But if you have any singles that come to you for marriage advice, go get Singles Checklist. It's a book that he wrote as well. Just get the book and give it to them and say, this is my gift to you. Go and read it. Also, Keys to Marital Success is a great book for us married people. You never know enough. You never know 100%. So we need to keep studying this marriage institution. Gio, thank you so much.
God bless you.
Thank you for coming on. It's such a privilege to have you sharing with us. And we're looking forward to more books and more of your programs.
Thank you.
And to everyone that's watching, God bless you. Gio, do you want to say a prayer for us?
Father, we thank you for everyone that is watching today, that the grace of God will rest over them. Amen. Marriages that are going through issues, Lord, give them the power to overcome. Give them the wisdom, the understanding. Let them discover what to do, exact what to do. Let them be able to patience enough to live together. Give them understanding to study each other and know the area where they can help each other. Thank you, Father.
Thank you,
In
Lord.
Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
See you next week on Married to Ministry.
Thank you.